I love you, but I'm not in love with you. I love you, but I'm not in love with you. 7 Steps to Saving Your Relationship by Andrew G. Marshall, author. Even though they still care about each other, many couples may find themselves lacking passion and considering separation. This book argues that losing the feeling of being in love doesn't necessarily mean not loving each other anymore. Nor does it signify the end of an intimate relationship. We must understand that love represents complex emotions and feelings. The author of this book, Andrew G. Marshall, is a seasoned expert with 30 years of experience in marriage counseling and works with one of the top marriage counseling organizations in the UK, Relate. Marshall discovered that in the professional literature of psychology, there is ample discussion about married couples who intensely dislike each other. Still, there's very little discourse about couples who love each other but feel insufficient. Their situation can be summarized with a sentence structure like this. Though I love you very much, I don't feel happy. Though I love you, you make me very frustrated. Though I love you, I want a divorce. I want to be on my own. Many assume these feelings arise due to the erosion of emotions over time. But is this the case? Does time only wear love away and not add to it? Is it the fault of time or a problem within ourselves? What's remarkable about this book is its precision in identifying certain habits. We often believe these habits are maintaining our daily relationships, but they are wearing them down. For instance, constant appeasement can harm relationships, while seemingly damaging events like arguments can, in reality, be beneficial for fostering intimacy. This book outlines 7 stages of a fulfilling relationship. 1. Understanding love. 2. Positive conflict. 3. Shared goals. 4. Intimate play. 5. Balancing love and self. 6. Giving and learning. For ease of understanding and recall, I've distilled these 7 stages into 3 key concepts: conflict, attachment, and positive communication. In the first part, we will confront the conflicts within intimate relationships, understand their essence, and explore how to utilize conflicts to understand ourselves better. In the second part, we will rekindle one of the most easily lost elements of love, attachment. In the third section, we will use communication exercises to establish new communication patterns between partners to help you get to the heart of problems and avoid the most ineffective arguments. First, talk about one of the most challenging aspects of intimate relationships: arguments. Many couples end their relationships after a destructive argument. Often, there is no further communication or discussion. The wounds don't heal, but instead fester hurt. Marshall believes that arguments aren't as terrible as we often imagine. There are no intimate relationships in the world without conflicts, and arguments are a form of communication, far better than Cold War and endurance. We need to learn how to use arguments to bring issues to light so that they can be resolved. You might disagree with this perspective, thinking that if you don't argue and endure, the problems will resolve themselves. Marshall finds such attempts to minimize or sweep issues under the rug highly suspicious. This can lead to minor dissatisfactions that could have been resolved, accumulating into insurmountable resentment. One person may suffer in silence in an intimate relationship, while the other keeps pacifying and says, "That's just my nature, please bear with it." This leads to the person receiving comfort developing underlying resentment because pacification prevents problems from being exposed and blocks communication. Remember that soothing should not be the entirety of interaction. A profound, rational conversation should follow. Arguments are okay, but it could be more helpful to be impulsive and think about changing partners after a significant conflict. Growing up is not achieved through recklessness. Even if you start a new relationship, conflicts will still arise. There's no such thing as a perfect relationship. What's important is to acknowledge that there are no absolutes of right or wrong in most conflicts. Usually, both sides share the blame. Through conflicts, we can understand our partners better, leading to self-discovery. Some untouchable boundaries can be revealed during these conflicts. Note that the aim is not to demand from the other person but to understand yourself better. If you had a major unresolved conflict with your partner, you can re-evaluate it using the 80 to 20 principle mentioned in the book. The 80% and 20% refer to the aspects of these conflicts. Often, 80% is related to your past, while only 20% is associated with the present. Childhood experiences can significantly affect your adult relationships. For instance, a couple often argues about buying household items, such as whether to get an expensive wool rug or a cheap synthetic one. It seems like a matter of taste and design, but the real reason is often rooted in their family's economic situation. For example, suppose someone insists on buying an expensive wool rug like Andy. In that case, it may be because they grew up in a relatively affluent family and money was not a significant concern until their father's business failure. On the other hand, someone who grew up in a less well-off family, like Brian, may consider spending a lot of money irresponsible and believe that a synthetic rug would suffice. So, intimate relationships are not just about your partner's issues, they involve your problems as well. It's essential to understand your feelings of dissatisfaction and anger within the relationship and then work to address them. Reflect on why certain habits of your partner upset you and what kind of memories or beliefs are tied to those issues. In the second part, we will rekindle one of the most easily lost elements of love, attachment. Marshall discusses the common saying that marriage is the grave of love. This saying has made many people fear marriage, as it suggests that marriage is an inferior result compared to love. Previous generations often remained together due to economic needs, and separation often signified significant problems. Today, our expectations for intimate relationships are higher, and insufficient love can be a reason for divorce. We want to live in exciting relationships, but these higher expectations may create more tension. The absence of feelings of love doesn't necessarily mean that love itself has disappeared, but rather, the attachment has. Love is a broad term encompassing various emotions, and it goes far beyond the crazy love you feel at the start of a relationship. It can also be the comforting and secure feeling when you hold your partner's hands after being together for 10 years. Unfortunately, we often overlook this aspect of love, and the word love oversimplifies many complex emotions. We need to understand that love encompasses 3 very different emotions thoroughly. 1. The passion of early-stage romantic love. 2. The intimacy of spending time together. 3. The instinct to protect children and the affection between parents. Often, disputes between couples arise from different definitions of love, leading to confusion. Distinguishing between these various forms of love can help us better understand love. Neglecting the feeling of attachment can lead to distance in the relationship, turning love into mere care. Care means we're concerned about someone, wanting the best for them, and not wanting them to get hurt. However, this changes the way the other person is connected to us, transforming it from being in love to merely being cared for. A sense of duty replaces affection, and 2 people are no longer attracted to each other. To restore the feeling of attachment between 2 people, both parties need to relearn how to express their affection. This can involve creating quality time together, expressing gratitude through physical touch, and maintaining eye contact. Eye contact is a primary way to convey attachment because it triggers the release of phenylethylamine. This natural endorphin can evoke a sense of joy akin to falling in love. Experiments have shown that couples in passionate love spend approximately 75% of their time looking at each other during conversations, while less satisfied couples do so only 30% to 60% of the time. When your partner stops and entirely focuses on you, looking into your eyes, you feel most loved. Marshall offers a practical exercise in the book. You can try it by exchanging your partner's name or gently turning your partner's head away from the computer screen or whatever they are focused on, making them focus on you. The partner might wonder what's happening, and that's when you both make eye contact. You may kiss your partner's lips lightly, and if they ask what's going on, don't respond defensively or initiate an argument. Explain that you've always loved how you made eye contact during your early dates. To keep a happy and successful marriage, you both must develop good habits of actively expressing love and showing appreciation. Expressing gratitude is a vital way to convey your affection. Praises, thank you, or expressions of care shared solemnly between partners are potent and leave a lasting impression. Making these a part of your relationship will strengthen it and help your partner feel loved and appreciated. So, don't hesitate to show your affection, it's far more effective than arguments. Another method is setting aside 15 minutes each night to discuss the day's events. It's an investment of time in each other that is achievable and can become a sustainable habit. You can also agree to have dinner without distractions like television or phones. It's a time to focus on each other, share your feelings, and engage in meaningful conversations. Even if one person comes home earlier, they can have a light snack before dinner to avoid disturbing the tradition of having a meal together. This practice will provide a platform for communication and strengthen your bond. Before conversing, remember that it's easier to say they are wrong than I am wrong. Blaming the other person is more accessible than self-reflection. Blaming your partner disrespects them and can make your heart grow colder. Holding your partner in contempt will show in your words and actions, and nobody wants to be disrespected. Whatever happens, your partner is your lover, not an enemy waiting for retribution. The following section will explore various exercises and strategies to establish a gentle and effective communication pattern between lovers. Before initiating this communication, I suggest trying a fondness exercise with your partner. This exercise is the most effective one in the entire book. It involves asking each other how you first got together and remembering the initial moments of your relationship. The author of this book, Marshall, used to write a celebrity couples column for a magazine. He discovered that no matter the current status of a couple's relationship, whenever he asks them to recall their first meeting, the atmosphere in the room becomes extraordinarily joyful and sweet. Even celebrities with busy schedules often willingly extend the interview time. When you start to reminisce about your past, both of you can feel the warmth of love rekindling. People often hesitate to bring up this story and may summarize it in a sentence or two, but more is needed. It would help if you asked several questions and, ideally, in great detail, because the warmth of the experience is hidden in the details. For example, you can ask about the restaurant you dined at during your first meeting, what you both were wearing, what dishes you ordered, what your partner looked like when you first saw them, what they said, and what they did. Active reminiscing can take you back to the peak of your initial infatuation, and everyone wants to linger in sweet memories for a while. The second suggestion is to give your partner gifts without needing any reason. Gifts are a part of love. Wedding rings are also a gift and the centerpiece of wedding ceremonies. Remember, the real meaning of a gift is that I've been thinking of you, not how expensive it is. While the cost may be a dimension of the gift, it can't replace the thought and effort behind it. Thoughtful, heartfelt gifts are often better than expensive ones between loving partners. A handwritten card is better than an off-the-shelf perfume. Furthermore, you can try things that both of you find challenging, like ice skating, doing something silly, tickling each other, visiting a children's zoo, sharing childhood photos and stories, building a sandcastle on the beach, or painting together. The key is not to reduce your shared activities to only severe social events and obligations. Introducing sweetness and childlike joy into your relationship can make a significant difference. You can ask yourself when the last time you gave a gift to your partner just because you liked them was. When was the last time you had a date without a specific reason? When was the last time you showed tenderness and care to your partner daily, even when they didn't ask for it? One of the most crucial communication rules is always to remember that, when expressing yourself, you should emphasize the positive aspects of things, saying what you want rather than what you dislike. You can convert your complaints into positive requests. For example, if your partner is always going out with friends and wants to complain about it, you can instead express your desire positively. I like it when we spend time together. How about we have a movie night every Wednesday? Or if you're annoyed about doing all the cleaning and want to say something to your partner, instead of blaming, you can say, I appreciate it when you help with cleaning. Please take out the trash every day. This way, your words will be more constructive and less likely to lead to arguments. When a couple who had grown tired of each other rekindles the feeling of love through these methods, they will become more confident in their relationship. This confidence is vital in ideal marriages. Happy couples often share 3 common understandings. 1. Love requires effort. Regardless of your feelings, both partners should be willing to tend to each other's needs, showing extra care and effort. 2. Love is about giving and receiving. If the love you receive doesn't match the love you give, initiate friendly communication using the methods mentioned earlier. 3. Love is about encouragement. In ideal marriages, partners share their weaknesses and issues and encourage each other. You don't have to take on your partner's problems, as doing so might lead to psychological exhaustion and make you feel like you've done enough while they haven't done anything. When a couple who thought their love had faded finds a way to reignite it, the regained sense of attachment is truly precious.